Let's tell the king we want to be free. That's what John Adams believed. Before America became a country, it was made up of 13 colonies ruled by the King of England. Many people were afraid to speak against the king, but not John Adams. He had a big voice, strong ideas, and he wasn't afraid to use them. John Adams helped America become free. He was a lawyer, a leader, and later, the second president of the United States. But before all that, he was just a boy from a small farm in Massachusetts. John Adams was born in 1735 in Braintree, Massachusetts. His family lived on a farm. His father was a farmer and also worked as a church leader. Young John didn't always like school. At first he thought it was boring. He liked fishing, hunting, and being outside. But his father wanted him to become a minister, so he made sure John went to school. As John got older, he started to enjoy learning. He became a very good student. When he was just 15 years old, he went to Harvard College. That was a big deal at the time. After college, John became a teacher, but he didn't want to teach forever. He decided to become a lawyer. John Adams believed in fairness. That's why he wanted to be a lawyer. He wanted to help people who didn't have power or money. In 1770, something very big happened. British soldiers shot and killed 5 colonists in Boston. It was called the Boston Massacre. The people in Boston were very angry. They wanted to punish the soldiers, but John Adams did something surprising. He defended the British soldiers in court. Why? Because he believed everyone deserved a fair trial, even if they were not popular. Many people were shocked. But John Adams showed courage. In the end, most of the soldiers were found not guilty. People saw that John Adams was fair and brave. John didn't like how the King of England treated the colonies. The king made unfair laws and taxes. The colonists had no say in the government. In 1774, John went to a meeting called the First Continental Congress. Leaders from all the colonies met to talk about what to do. John was one of the loudest voices. He said, "We need to stand up to the king." In 1776, John helped write the Declaration of Independence. This was the letter that told the king the colonies wanted to be free. Another man, Thomas Jefferson, wrote most of the words. But John Adams helped him and made sure everyone agreed. On July 4th, 1776, the colonies declared independence from Britain. John Adams was very proud. After the war, the colonies became the United States of America, but now they needed a government and leaders. John Adams was sent to Europe to help make peace with Britain. He was also the first U.S. ambassador to France and the Netherlands. He worked hard to make sure other countries respected the new United States. In 1789, George Washington became the first president. John Adams became the first vice president. He didn't like the job much. He once said it was the most insignificant office. That means it didn't have much power, but he still did his best. In 1797, John Adams became the second president of the United States. It was not an easy time. France and Britain were fighting. America didn't want to join the war. John worked hard to keep the country out of it. Not everyone liked his choices. Some people thought he gave the government too much power. Even his old friend Thomas Jefferson didn't agree with him anymore. In 1800, John lost the election to Jefferson. Adams was sad, but he went home peacefully. He showed that in America, power could change hands without fighting. That was a big deal in history. John Adams lived a long life. He read books, wrote letters, and watched the country grow. He lived to be 90 years old. Here's an amazing fact. John Adams died on July 4th, 1826, exactly 50 years after the signing of the Declaration of Independence. That same day, Thomas Jefferson died too. They had been friends, then enemies, then friends again. Before John died, his last words were, "Thomas Jefferson survives." But he didn't know that Jefferson had died just a few hours earlier. John Adams was never the most popular man. He spoke his mind even when people didn't like it. But he helped build a new country. He believed in law, fairness, and freedom. Thanks to him, we have the right to speak up. We have the right to a fair trial. And we have the right to choose our leaders. John Adams' ideas helped shape America, and that's a voice worth remembering.